So you were saying that your
freshman
freshman
year.
year is your most important year during your basketball career. Why was that?
Well, for one, Coach Ingram, like he taught me a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as like it wasn't like I caught myself a lot of times like during that season, like pouting, you know what I'm saying? Like thinking that like I was owed something. And Coach Ingram was like, nah, like no, like this ain't the place for that. Like he'd call you out like in a minute. You know what I'm
So
saying?
so hold on, rewind with that. So pouting like during the season, before like kind of
Yes.
started, and like so why would you be pouting if you were starting?
Well, because I remember one game specifically, we were playing Grand Rapids,
Hmm.
playing against Grand Rapids, and I was starting, but and I didn't see this at the time, but I was the best defender on the team.
Hmm.
So he had me guarding like a big dude. He was like 6'7", bro. And he was like, and I'm still like super like skinny at this time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, like why do you like why do you have me even guarding him? You know what I'm saying? What's the scheme behind this?
Hmm.
So like I'm guarding him and he going to work. You know what I'm saying? Like he getting buckets on me. And instead of me like being like, you know what, I'm about to try as hard as I can
Hmm.
to like try like do whatever I got to do to try to stop this dude. Like have that mindset. I'm like, bro, like why does the coach have me like guarding him? You know what I'm saying? Like that type of thing. So like I got benched and I didn't end up. I mean, I ended up playing still some during that game. I didn't play a lot, and we ended up winning. So I
Hmm.
just didn't have a good game at all because my mind was just messed up like from the beginning of the game. So I'm pouting like after the game, like everybody geek, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm walking over talking to people, and I just ain't looking happy. So the next day in practice, like we ended up winning the game, but it wasn't like a pretty win. So
Hmm.
we was running a lot. And as we was running, he like, I got mugs in here pouting, looking like they about to cry after we win a game. You old gutless. And I was like, who is he talking to me right now? But I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like again, in the moment, I'm like, man, forget what this dude talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it started to register, you know what I'm saying? Like as the season went on, like, yo, like he believe in you to like put you on
Right.
the best
A
player,
guy.
you know what I'm saying, like on that team. You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, again, I only averaged 10 points, so my role wasn't like be the leading scorer.
Right.
Like Clark and Maurice was kind of taking like those reins. So it's like, yo, when you out on the court, make your mark this way.
Right.
Um, and again, looking back at it now, like me being the best defender is something that him he allowed me to develop because at Everett, like I was literally probably one of the slowest people like on the team. Like I
Yeah,
wasn't like fast at all.
that's what I'm saying. It's crazy just hearing you say that you were the best defender as a freshman on LCC when you weren't like known for defense like that.
Defense at all, bro.
Yeah.
Like my defense was like subpar because and I'm thinking because my body again, I'm young. My senior year, I'm 16.
Hmm.
So I wasn't like a physical specimen, you know what I'm saying? Like Derek Nelson, you know what I'm saying? Like my athletic ability didn't really hit until midway through like my freshman year at LCC.
Hmm.
So again, going from being the slowest person like in a foot race, like one of the slowest people in a foot race, my
Hmm.
senior year of high school, which I can probably see now why people wasn't recruiting me because they're like, yo, this dude, he just isn't that athletic.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like,
6'3",
so
lanky, but just wasn't. Yeah, you didn't have like no bounce
yeah,
like
like,
that crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
right. So, like, going from that to midway through my freshman year, I think I probably had maybe like 6 or 7 dunks, maybe, you know what I'm saying, like that year. Where my senior year in high school only had one.
Right.
So it was that, and then going from to my sophomore year, probably being one of the fastest people like in a foot race,
Wow.
like on the team.
Wow.
So like again, Coach Ingram, it wasn't like, he had me like in one-on-ones, but
Mm.
just again, the things that he was a no-nonsense coach, you know what I'm saying? But he'll let you go out there and ball out.
Right.
You know what
Let
I'm
you back
saying?
out. Yeah.
yeah, so like instilling that confidence for me to be able to, go out there and be the best defender. You know what I'm saying? Like the workouts we was doing, like we did a little bit of working out of Everett, but this was like every day. You know what I'm saying? Like it was something like in the weight room.
Like, so you're saying like Coach Ingram and them, they had like a program for y'all to be in the weight room and then be in the gym and stuff, or like was
Yeah.
it coding with them? Was it they had a program for you guys, or was it you individually doing this yourself?
Oh no, this was the whole team. This was
Okay.
the whole team. So we would, get out of practice and go hit the weight room.
Hmm.
Like in the summer, I want to say we had some type of conditioning. I just remember being like outside,
I
like
heard the conditioning is horrible.
their regimen, or like it was hard, horrible.
It was hard, horrible. Like,
Okay, yeah. So no, for sure, because I remember being outside in the summertime, like doing like sprints. It was like on the field, like across the street from LCC. It's probably
it's hard.
something there now.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, but it was like, bro, like this is ridiculous. And like I remember people like, yo, I remember Jeremy Shane specifically, like us like being in the gym running, and he like, bro, I quit. Like I literally cannot like dude, like we had to be like, nah, bro, like stop. Like you about to get kicked off the team, but he like, bro, I can't get up. Like I quit, bro. I just can't. I can't do it no more.
Man.
So he had like I did more running and more, you know what I'm saying, like cardio and stuff like that than I've ever done, you know what I'm saying, like in my life. So I was in shape to be able to, again, guard the best player
All right.
and, again, allow my body to kind of develop, you know what I'm saying, while I was there.
What was the what was the process for you like as a freshman? So this is like a two-part question. As a basketball player, as far as getting better as a basketball player individually, whether that's like before the season, during the season, or after the season leading up to your sophomore year, what was that like as far as like developing your skills? Like, what did you work on? And was that something that was left up to you? Or was there, again, like some type of program or regimen that Coach Ingram might have had you guys do?
No, it was pretty much me. Like he didn't really make us do, anything in the summertime. He left it up to us to kind of work on our game. But I think I was pretty dedicated, anyway. So I play again every day. I would go to the gym. I would go up to aim high,
Yeah,
work out. You know what I'm saying? Get my shots up. Um, I would say thinking back, it would have been better if I had like some type of coach or trainer there. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm you can only really push yourself so hard.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you can't really see yourself while you're training.
Right. Did
But
he correct a couple of things and whatnot?
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But now, I mean, again, going into that sophomore year, I'm like, bro, because at that point, I'm at my peak. I would say, like, as far as like, I'm more athletic than I've ever been. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm confident. Like, I'm knowing, like, going into my sophomore year, it's like, yo, I'm about to be the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's again me and Clark and Paulie. And
Yeah.
Paulie, he's the point guard, so he ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like it's basically me and Clark, you know what I'm saying, like on the wings.
So here goes the second part of my question. What was the transition like academically for you from high school to that freshman year of college? And again, for anyone that's listening and watching, from what I remember, what I recall, like there was no academic issues that you had coming out of high school that prevented you from going
No.
D2 or D3, D1, so on and so forth. So, but what was the transition like for you academically and just being mature because like you're essentially on your own.
Right, for sure. Um, it really wasn't that hard, man. It really just comes to being disciplined and like what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like the classes wasn't hard. Again, we're at a community college.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So for most of us, a lot of those classes we was taking like that freshman year, they wasn't even transferred. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like you get into the easiest classes,
Mm-hmm.
um, to allow you to be able to play. But if you ain't disciplined enough to do the work, you just don't want it. And
Right.
I mean, we end up having a handful of people that didn't end up making it because they didn't want to do the work.
Yeah, the discipline
So
part, the why, the what your purpose is type situation.
yeah, like it's two parts to it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just picking up a basketball and shooting it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like if you want to be able to play, like this other part comes with it. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like right now, like you have to, and again, it's not like they putting you in calculus. You know
Right,
what I'm saying? Like it's stuff where you have to like study like super hard for.
right,
Like I don't remember ever struggling like like man, like I don't know if I'm gonna pass this class. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like
right.
from that point, you know what I'm saying? Like oh, and it wasn't like I was like a genius. Like I wasn't like trying like overly hard, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like a ton, but
right,
it was just like it just wasn't hard. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like
Were they, even though getting put into, I mean, easier classes, were you still on track academically to get your credits transferred to the
yeah.
level?
Yep. So I don't like to get my degree. Like once I finished my senior year in college, I had
Mhm.
to go back for a half a semester.
Well, I'm talking
Um,
about, so from your sophomore year from LCC, like getting
right.
like, was there any type of, yeah, explain that process from academically
Well,
sophomore year
so
going to D2.
so majority of the credits got transferred. So that's what I'm saying. Like when I ended up graduating, I only had to go back for a
Oh, from
half a semester because the
graduating.
majority of those LCC credits
Oh,
transferred.
gotcha.
Yeah. But even then, once I transferred, I
Hmm.
still was the only time I slipped up was my senior year because
Hmm.
I was a senior. I was just like, man, I'm about to be out.
Yeah.
So, and my coach, he told me, he was like, bro, like because I was always on the like the honor roll. And he was
Hmm.
like, man, you about to be basically an academic, like all American, like
Hmm.
if you just stay on the honor roll. But I was bugging. I mean, I didn't like fall off to getting like D's, but I think I ended up with like a 2.7 or something like that.
Right.
Um, but because he was like, man, most of these people like that's academic all Americans, like they not like great, you know what I'm saying? Like at hoop, like you're actually one of the best players and you're doing good in school. But
Hmm.
yeah, so I just kind of let that fall to the wayside. But again, it wasn't because the classes was hard. It was just, I guess I got too antsy. You know what I'm saying?
So going back to your sophomore year, so we'll get back to your sophomore year again. So you about to be
Right.
the man, you do super well. You and Clark, Paulie, like y'all balling. You're hitting game winners or getting the ball for game winners at the end of the games
Right.
at SEC. Clark at the time was more athletic still, a
Yeah.
little, and just smoother with his game. Like,
Right.
you know, you're more, he's more Paul George, you're more Kawhi Leonard, in my opinion, just as far as like the body movements,
The
right?
mechanics,
Yeah,
mechanics. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So what was the process like with you getting recruited out of LCC? Like, was it coaches emailing you, texting you, calling you, or hitting up Coach Ingram? Was Coach Ingram kind of making that all happen? And by the way, I know we're fast forwarding, but again, you were all conference your sophomore year at LCC.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that process, it really, Coach Ingram didn't say anything to us until, or I would say to me, I won't say to us. He didn't say anything to me until the season was over.
Hmm.
He called me in his office and he was like, he had a few different colleges that wanted me to come. One being the one I went to, California University of Pennsylvania. It was Man, it was another I know I'll end up going down to Maryland Eastern Shores,
Hmm.
uh, which was not on the strength of Coach Ingram. So we'll talk about that as well. But it
Hmm.
was it was two other schools. But I just remember when he said California, I'm like, I'm there. But he was like, no.
Pennsylvania.
It's like, nah, man, it's in Pennsylvania. But he was high on that coach though. That's
Mm.
why I can't remember the other schools, but I know it was a few offers that he had for me specifically when I
Hmm.
went in his office that day. And he was like, Coach Bill Brown, like he's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he talked to me like he's very, very high on getting you there.
Hmm.
Um, so I ended up going there on a visit. And I mean you know what I'm saying, like the people that I met like on the visit as far as like being on the team, Um, it felt like almost like, again, that Everett situation, like all over again.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't worried about playing, but I'm saying talent wise, it felt like, man, like we got a lot of good people. It's not like me going into, if I go here, it's not me being like the only good person on the team.
Right, right.
And then Carl, it was, I can't remember, one of the twins, Carl or Charles Thomas, that
Yep,
played, I'm saying, at Everett, who ended up going to the NBA.
yep.
I can't remember which one it was, but he used to be up at LCC, like hooping with us, like during our practice.
Mm-hmm.
So he ended up getting a job at Maryland Eastern Shores as an assistant coach.
Which was Division 1.
Right, which was Division 1. So now hearing that, he like, man, like I can get you a full ride down here. You know what I'm saying? Like he wanted me and Paulie to come down there.
Mm-hmm.
And just hearing D1, I'm like, yeah, I don't know about these other two. Yeah, I don't know about these other D2 offers. But going down there and speaking to the coach there, playing with the players, I'm like, bro, we played against them. I'm saying we did like open gym, and I'm like these dudes, like I felt like I was a lot better than majority of those people. You know what I'm saying? They had one guy who was like 6'9". He reminded me of Lamar Odom.
Mm-hmm.
But he had like academic issues, so he was like off the floor a lot. But he was the one player that like stood out to me. And they like harped on like the offense, like going through him a lot. But he was like, yeah, you come here, you know what I'm saying? Like you'll be the, you know what I'm saying, 6 man, you know what I'm saying, coming off the bench or whatever. And I'm just like,
But you looking at
bro,
the open gym like,
yeah, like behind who? You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? But again, it's not the head coach recruiting me.
right.
It's
The
the
assistant.
assistant coach that just got the job there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of his guys that he knows from back home. So again, I talked to Coach Ingram about it. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, nah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he can't tell me what to do, but he's like, in my opinion, like that ain't the move. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would do this, you know what I'm saying? Which is go down to Pennsylvania. Cause again, the head coach was super high on you. You know what I'm saying? The head coach came to my house, sat down with me and my mom, you know what I'm saying? And talked to us for an hour, you know what I'm saying? Let me know, like, hey, you're gonna be starting, you're gonna be the man, this type of situation.
Right.
And like just he seemed like it was believable, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like he wasn't just like blowing smoke.
Right.
All in all, I just think it was a bet. Like I would rather go to a good D2 school
Mm-hmm.
than a sorry D, which they were sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like they were D1, but they weren't good. I mean, they probably won a couple games, you know what I'm saying, like that season before.
Right.
So it just made more sense. Like go to a winning program and you can get more eyes on you
Mm-hmm.
that way than going to a losing program that's you know what I'm saying, supposed to be D1.
Right. Right. Real quick before I forget one, any it could be all coaches you want. It doesn't matter. Any coaches you want to give a shout out to? You want to
You
give a
said
shout out to any stories about any coaches? What's
Johnny Jones, you know what I'm saying? And
the
his soul patch
legendary
in
coach
front of
Johnny
his head.
Jones?
The soul patch in front of his head, man. That dude, like he was like so intimidating. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause like it's like not while I played for him, but like coming like up, cause
Right.
he was just like, get away from me, boy, you bother me, like type
Yeah.
situation. Like,
Yeah.
so but definitely Coach Jones, Coach Ingram, he was probably the most influential coach that I had.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just as far as like the path that I end up taking, like just going to him, he allowed me to develop. He probably had as a coach, the biggest like imprint on the I'm saying trajectory that my career ended up, you know what I'm saying, taking.
Right.
And then Coach Brown, like he passed away, I want to say about a year and a half or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
But man, like I love that dude. He was probably like my funniest coach, man, because he was just like he had like this he was a big tall dude. He was like 6'9", because he was actually good at basketball himself. He went to like I want to say he went to either Ohio or Ohio State,
Okay.
but he was that dude like back in his day. But
Mm-hmm.
he used to be like, Bud, like he called everybody Bud, like Bud, I want you to come to my school and you're gonna be like he talked like that. You know what I'm saying? So he was just a super funny dude, man. And he was just like happy like all the time. Like he had diabetes, he ended up losing both of his legs, you know what I'm saying? Like while I was there, but he was just again happy like all the time, bro. So
Mm.
it wasn't a coach that I ever, thank God, it wasn't a coach that I ever came across that I could be like, man, I hated playing for him.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I ended up, thank God, every coach that I played for, you know what I'm saying, was probably what I needed, you know what I'm saying, like at that time.
Right.
So yeah, all of them, brother, all of the coaches.
Dig it, man. I think last thing, and I'll leave you alone, man, is whether it's middle school kids, whether it's high school kids, college kids, it could be all three. What advice would you give to young kids? Like, again, you could be like, hey, middle school kids, do X, Y, and Z. High school kids, you need to focus on this. College kids, you need to focus on that.
I would say, man, just take it serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially now, because you got kids from super young age, you know what I'm saying, 4 or 5 years old that's training. You know what I'm saying? So if you even want a shot at somebody taking you serious, like you have to put the work in. Like there like, not to be cliche, but there is literally no days off when it comes to putting the work in and like honing, you know what I'm saying, your skill set and perfecting your craft. You know what I'm saying? Like don't let what I would say, don't let what anybody else I would say season you deter you from or affect your confidence. Because I would say confidence is probably one of the most important things like in sport.
Right.
Because I've seen so many people who were super good and a coach take their confidence away. And it's like, man, like what happened to like this? You know what I'm saying? Or you'll see like somebody who like kills at the park, you know what I'm saying? Kills at open gym. And then when they get on a team, it's like they can't duplicate that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like confidence in yourself is key. You know what I'm saying? Like make sure that you maintain that and don't let no coach or like nobody else, you know what I'm saying, like take that away. Because if you're confident in your skill set, then that could be the difference between you, again, going from JUCO to D1, D2, going to that next level. You know what I'm saying? Like once you start doubting yourself, then it's kind of it's a super uphill battle. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that also plays into, this is more so for like high school kids. Wherever you choose to go, make sure it fits your skill set. It fits you to where you can actually flourish and play the game that allows you to present your talent in the best way possible. Like, don't just go to a school because it's a big name. Don't just go because everybody's saying, oh, you should go here. Like, what's their offense? You know what I'm saying? What's my role on this team? You know what I'm saying? How many minutes am I going to be playing? Like, all of that matters, because again, if you go somewhere where they're not going to utilize you, then it's just wasted talent. You know what I'm saying? Like at that point. So put the work in and make, you know, smart decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like because it's your career. So just make sure you make smart decisions.
That's real, man. I definitely appreciate your time. Just to recap, man, James Petty, originally from Flint, Michigan, went to Everett High School, he's 6'3", so he ain't 6'5", 6'6", 6'8", none of that. So 6'3", solid height. Played freshman ball as a freshman, played JV ball as a sophomore, and then gradually kept on climbing up the ranks, man. Again, all conference, leading scorer on a top 5 team in the state. Went to community college. Sophomore year, made all conference. Junior year, he got to a Division II school, made all conference second team. Senior year, all conference and second team all region. While getting his bachelor's degree, ended up going back to get his master's degree, correct? Yep, got a master's degree. So again, basketball can definitely create a pathway for you to you know, get your education for free, get all the degrees that you need, and set yourself up, man. So thank you again, man, for being on. Definitely appreciate it.
Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you for having me, man.